Second contestant.
Good afternoon to everyone, my dear friends and my dear teachers. I am going to narrate a story, The Honest Woodcutter. Once upon a time, there lived two woodcutters in a nearby forest. One woodcutter was very honest, but the second woodcutter was very lazy. One day, the woodcutter went to chop wood. When he went across the lazy woodcutter's home, he went and called out him and said, "You also come for work." But the lazy woodcutter said, "I don't want to come very early. You go first and I'll come late." But then the honest woodcutter didn't say anything and went quietly. When he reached the forest, he said, "Let me chop wood now." He climbed a tree and started chopping wood. When he was chopping wood, he accidentally slipped the axe and it fell down to the river. He went to search the axe down in the river, but he could not find it anywhere. And then a god appeared next to him, and she said she will get the axe back for him. First, the god took a silver axe. But the woodcutter said, "No, God, this is not mine." Then the god took a golden axe. And then the woodcutter said, "No, God, this is not mine." And then at final, the god got his wooden axe correctly. Then he said, "Yes, God, this is mine." And then the god was very happy and said, "You are very honest. You really need to have these 3 axes." So then the god gave all the 3 axes. And then when the woodcutter went back home, the lazy woodcutter saw how this is possible. In morning, only this woodcutter went with 1 axe. How is this possible? Now he has 3 axes. And then the lazy woodcutter needs to know the truth. So he went to follow him. And then he saw and peeped his house. And then he understood everything what had happened. And he next day went and wantedly threw the axe down into the river. And the god appeared in front of him. The god said, "Is this yours?" Because the first axe was his correct wooden axe. And second, the god took the silver axe. Then the lazy woodcutter said, "This is not mine." Then the god brought a golden axe. The lazy woodcutter said, "This is mine." And the god got very angry and she went with the 3 axes down into the river. The lazy woodcutter went home very sad. Then the lazy woodcutter understood his lesson. This moral of the story is never be greedy, and then honesty is the best policy.
That was an excellent message by Arini to us, that always be honest.
Our next participant is Grishma of class 5.